We just need a vent session.
No matter how much exhausted we are and no matter how much work we had, we still have to come and have our, face and performance for the kids, which is really, really hard.
I feel like if my cup is not filled or empty in this case, right? Like my frustration level builds up.
10 months old is eating, I have to clean, it's just so much, 3 times a day.
I forgot to register them for swimming and now they don't have swimming lessons. I'm like, oh shoot, I felt so much guilt.
Oh, my baby didn't sleep, it means I'm stressed. Oh,
Yes.
My baby cries, it means I'm stressed. All of this just drains me and drains me.
If your normal activities that you felt like could have filled your cup previously no longer does, then I think it's really, really important to go see a doctor.
Welcome everyone to our regular podcast, Sassy Moms. And my name is Anya.
And I'm Wendy. So today we have a much needed, vent session that we wanted to do. It's about the struggles of a working mom. So, funny enough, Anya and I were, chatting our regular day to day, and then we're like, oh man, this week is so tough. And we were like, we just need a vent session. So here we are. So, what I just want to kind of lay it out there, what maybe people that aren't familiar with our struggles. So, as a working mom, here's how I see my struggle is, or generally. So, our working mom, we have to work, let's say, 8 hours minimally a day. We have to prep our kids' lunch. We have to drop them off to daycare or school, and then we have to pick them up. And on top of this, we have to stay on top of their school activities and homework and their agenda, everything. And then coming home, we have to wash everything that they brought to school, their lunch, their snacks, their water bottle, etc. And we're supposed to grocery shop, meal prep, cook dinner, wash dishes, and maybe keep the house clean. Because I just sometimes I just can't stand a mess, but maybe that's just me. And then on top of this, do the laundry, which is multiple loads every single week, and fold the clothes, organize it, put it back into the closet, schedule and remember all the appointments and activities, run the kids to their extracurricular activities, and rest your heart if you have different gender, different kids' age, and you're running around like an Uber driver. You need to attend all these birthday parties that kids have, buy everybody gifts that they enjoy, and then your own kids, you have to prep their birthday parties. And of course, as a working mom, you're trying to climb this corporate ladder and potentially be a good employee and do a good job, manage a team. And for travelers like us, we need to coordinate our calendar with our spouse, maybe our support system. In my case, my parents, provide them, instructions and detailed things so then your kids, still function while you're away. And then, of course, you have to save your sick days because we're in the fall now for when the kids are sick or when you're actually sick. And then maybe save these PTO days to do actually fun things and plan vacations with your kids and all that. Maybe you want to have friends still. So you want to be a good friend. You want to be a good daughter to your parents and maybe a good wife to your husband. Take care of yourself, exercise. So all that. So Anya.
I just got upset again out of no reason. Only after listening to everything you said. But honestly, on a topic of ranting in general, I remember that I wanted to have this episode because I was sitting on my couch and I was so tired that I couldn't really even get up. But I had to because my kid needed attention, especially like 9 months old, 10 months old. So yeah, no matter how much exhausted we are and no matter how much work we had, we still have to come and have our, face and performance for the kids, which is really, really hard. Plus, be able to do all of this type of things that you just mentioned. Not to say emotional overload that we experience after doing all of this, because like if your kid, let's say, has a tantrum and, or not a tantrum, but like doesn't want to get ready for school, you then have to use all of your emotional energy in order to convince him or her to get up and like, like dress up, right? And then this might sometimes emotionally, disorient you, and you might get angry. Then once you are angry, you have guilt. So not to say how many like physical things we have to do, like how much emotionally hard it is.
Mhm.
Um, and it sometimes might be even harder than just all of these physical things.
No, and I think that's where I when I was telling you, I'm like, I was just purely struggling. I think it's the mental drain.
Yeah.
It's like, it was just forgetting a little things here and there. And then it's like, oh, I forgot to register them for swimming. And now they don't have swimming lessons. I'm like, oh, shoot. Like, I felt so much guilt because, like,
Hmm.
kids love swimming. And it's like, I felt like, I failed them because
Yeah.
I forgot to do it. Like things like that. I think it's like the mental drain that it's like more than the physical. And then it's like the physical, it's just like you said, like after work, a lot of time I just want to lie down,
Yeah.
watch TV. Like that's what I
Yeah.
used to do. Like
So so
I
so
miss
tell me,
that.
how do you do that? So everyone every time I need emotional support, because like you have like also like you failed, for example, to register them for swimming class, right? For my 10 months old, I like put him to bed at the wrong timing because I didn't proactively understand his like changing sleep needs. I feel guilty about it, right? Or my, I don't know, kid didn't eat enough. I'm worried now suddenly that, oh, what if he wakes up from hunger in the middle of the night, and then I feel
Yeah.
bad that I didn't do a good job feeding him proper either food or like just supporting him in, I don't know, yeah. Uh, it all like drains our energy a lot, but then all of these resources say, well, you have to relax, you have to take time for yourself, do something fulfilling for yourself. Now the question is, when do we do this?
I really don't know. So it's funny that you mentioned this because I think I feel the physical drain. No, I think it's part of aging too. And then it's like the emotional drain. I think it's the emotional is not just like, making sure they're healthy and all that, right? It's like my emotionals. Because like I feel like if my cup is not filled or empty
Hmm.
in this case, right? Like my frustration level like builds up. And it's like I don't want to be this like nagging mom or like, frustrated mom and like little things that my kids do. It's like I want to be there for them and like emotionally positive and supporting them. But seriously, it is seriously so hard. Like I'm
Hmm.
like, all right, I shouldn't be triggered by whatever they're doing. They're kids. Like I tell myself this, but like
Hmm.
I just sometimes I just can't. It's like, it bursts out and then so it's like so much guilt, right? I'm like, oh, I need to be a better parent. Like I shouldn't be like having these outbursts and like have to manage my emotions better. But I'm like, there are days I'm like, I just don't want to.
Hmm.
You know? It's like, and that's why I was struggling. It's like the mental drain, I think is like what's driving me crazy.
So how do we fill this cup? And by the way, I can relate to it. Just yesterday, me, like just yesterday, I like again, my kid was struggling with sleep. Haha, no surprise. Every episode my kid does. Uh, but I think I reached to a point where it's just very hard with his naps, and I'm totally lost. Like I don't understand. Is he overtired? Is he undertired? What I can do to better support him? And I reached to a point where I just felt very like frustrated. And so at a point when I was putting my baby to bed, I felt so frustrated. And I just felt bad from feeling the frustration. And, I know
Yes.
like some people will say, oh, it's okay, you can feel frustration just as long as you don't act on it, it's good. Right? But I feel bad for feeling frustration because I think he might feel my frustration. So then I feel like I failed my baby because he thinks I'm frustrating at him. And it's true, I am. I am frustrated at my baby, but I don't want to showcase this to him or feel
Yes.
this. As you mentioned, like my cup is like drained. It was drained so much because no matter what, I even like my baby goes to bed, let's say at 7:30. I try to do yoga online. I have a YouTube channel that I follow. There is a yoga there, which I like, a lot of different exercises. I was like, cool, I'm going to do it once my baby goes to bed. And I do it for like an hour or 40 minutes. There is a little meditation there. And everyone says like, oh, fill your cup, fill your cup. But it doesn't fill my cup fully because another day starts, there is like another crazy nap or an early morning wake up, and I'm out of it again.
I know. I know. And I think this is where I'm like, yeah, like you're supposed to like empty your frustration cup and like, fill it with things that you love so you have the energy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but it's like let's just say like I get to go to do an exercise class because I enjoy that. Or
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't know, I can do some online shopping therapy.
Online shopping therapy, I like it.
But it's like I feel like it's
It's not,
temporary.
it's like not enough. Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
like, and
just
that's where yeah, and then it's like the next day it's like, okay, yeah, like I feel relaxed or whatever it is. By the time I get to bed, it's like I'm dead tired. And I'm like, okay, the next day. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. And I'm like, man, first thing in the morning, my kids start crying about nonsense. And I'm like, I don't even know what you mean. Like, what are you talking about? Like
yeah.
things like that. It's just like, how do you tackle? I'm just like, I was in a good place. And now it's like slowly just emptying again by the time I come home again. It's like maybe work is draining me, or like there's a lot of frustrating moments and like a lot of frustrating meetings. And then like, so what do you do? I think this is where I'm struggling. Like I'm sure it's not just a working mom because like I do even like when you're staying at home, right? I think you have even more responsibilities because I feel like at least I am not in my house, for the entire day. So it gives me that
Hmm.
break. So I actually am lucky to be a working mom. But at the same time, it's like, how do you balance all this? Like I don't really have a suggestion. That's why I'm venting. Because I'm like, when
Yeah.
you ask me, it's like, hey, like, do you have any organizational tips? I'm like, no. It's just like I run my day today just like as it flows because there's so much stuff like things like that just happens, and I sometimes I just don't know how to manage it. And I think to add on to this is like you and your partner needs to be on the same page as well. And parenting is not like a playbook, right? Like you have one style that you were brought up, and then my husband does as well, right? So trying to have this consistency with your kids, trying to be a nurturing parent, trying to raise good kids, trying to raise emotionally stable kids. And then while you're trying to manage your own emotions, I don't know. I don't know how people do it. I don't.
Yeah, because it's kind of a lie,
Yeah.
right? Like I just while we had a chat here, I decided to add to ChatGPT, okay, how do moms like emotionally recharge? So let me show what it gave me as an answer. So four key areas to fill your cup and how to do it. Physical recharge. Prioritize sleep, aim for 7, 8 hours of sleep. Okay, well, maybe it's possible after your baby turns like 2 years old,
Yes.
before 2 years old. So if you have to work when your baby is 1 year old, maybe this might not be your even possibility. Anyways, 10, 15 minutes of movements. 10, 15 minutes of movements. Stay hydrated, eat balanced meals, avoid skipping your own food. And then pick 5 minutes each day to pause and ask, how do I feel right now? And then this week, ask someone for help with one household or kid task.
I feel like the first two or three are like the necessity
Biggest
of
lie
living.
in the entire world.
It's like the necessity of just like living, surviving. Like without those, it's really hard. And that's why it's funny because you mentioned it's like I think just moms or dads in general just have it really tough because the first year to two is like your kids don't sleep. So like getting 7 and 8 hours of like sleep is like luxury.
Exactly.
It's luxury. It's not even like survival. Survival is like, oh, I have like 4 hours of connected sleep. You know what I mean? I don't have to wake up to
Yeah,
do
it's
this,
just
you know?
ex- but also like stay hydrated, eat good food. I don't have like I mean, I obviously do feel shit if let's say I eat McDonald's. I
Yeah.
don't feel like good just from eating, like heavy food. And obviously I do feel much better if I eat healthy, normal, like nourishing food. But it doesn't help me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying like I don't think it actually fills my cup. Like and then I feel like what fills my cup, if I'm like really being honest, is like
Hmm.
I have just I guess like alone time. Like I need to
Yeah.
just like do my own thing, like that I enjoy doing. Um And I think it's like sometimes just watching like trash TV, to be honest. Just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
super dumb TV. And then it's like, oh yeah, like, having a laugh or like, watching something with my husband that we can like both just laugh about or like talk about it together and things like that. But it's like, I feel like it's sometimes it's hard to come by just because of the amount of things that we have on our plate. And like I was telling my husband the other day too. It's like I feel like it's the mental drain that's been like really tiring me out. Because it's like I think it's just like making sure that my kids are their schedules and like things like that. Like I don't miss any of their activities. Like they have like a Halloween event and things like that. I'm like, oh, like I totally forgot about it because I didn't have it in my calendar. Like things like that. I feel like you have guilt just by not you think you're not being a good mom, you know? I don't know. I don't know how
Hmm.
to really deal with that. So it's just me venting.
So, funny situation. Basically, like also, right? What I'm going to do this weekend on Saturday, I'm planning an 8 hour trip away from my child, and I'm going to Vancouver myself.
Oh, nice.
So I live on the island next to Vancouver, right? And it takes a 30-minute seaplane to go to Vancouver. So I'm going to, fly at like 8 a.m. and then stay in Vancouver and come back for the nighttime routine for my 10 months old around like 5 p.m. So I will see if I will be able to recharge first. And then second, for how long my cup will be filled. Because my assumption is that likely when I'm gone, my kid will have trouble sleeping during nap time and his schedule will be even worse than how I left it. And then and then for the next 2 weeks, my life will be hell. But we will see. But honestly, like right now in anticipation for the trip, I should be excited, but I'm not.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Because like when we had to travel for work and things like that, it's like just like I guess like I'm thankful in one way. I guess like my job allows me to be traveling and things like that. It's just part of my role, right? So I do get some time away. And I think it's actually good for me to be like apart as well, because like I'm so like I feel like my life is revolving around, our kids, right? And I think that's just the nature of being a mom. But I feel like having that time away gives me like I guess like perspective too, right? It's like, oh, like I'm so thankful that my husband is able to take care of the kids, right? With no
Yeah.
problem. Because I know like a lot of my friends, they are the primary parent. Like, their kids can't sleep without them and like things like that. So like it gives me, I think, different perspectives. And then it's like it makes me, I guess, like miss them even more. So it's like I feel like I'm lucky in that sense, but at the same time, it's also like I feel guilty when I'm away. It's like, man, like
Mm.
I have to like, I miss like certain events or like whatever it is. So it's like I feel like being a parent, I think as I'm talking through this, like I feel very, I guess like two polar opposite. It's like on one end, I'm like, oh, I'm super happy about these things, but on one end, it's like, oh man, like it just sucks the life out of me. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. Like, I think I'm always at this like conflicting mindset, and it's like physical drain, mental drain, and then like keeping myself not go down like rabbit holes and be, like just be a human being. Like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
Or like I don't know. Like I'm sure, and I'm probably referring to like working moms, but it's like working dads too. Like I see the exact same problem with my husband too, right? Like it's like the physical drain, the mental drain. Like he's like when he takes days off, yeah, he's great. Like he is off from work, but it's like the physical and mental drain of raising three kids, right? It takes a toll on you. And you need to like what I find super helpful is like we tag team. It's like, hey, I noticed like, hey, you are getting really frustrated. Let me step in because like I am an outsider that wasn't part of that situation. So it's like we have this like tag team system that I feel like it works for us
Yeah.
just because like we know what triggers each of us.
Mhm.
And it's like, hey, like I know you're triggered. Like let me step in. So like I find that working for me at least it helps with my like mental load. But man, like I don't know, kids are not easy.
Yeah, I think it's important for us to just also mention that we are happy to be moms and it was
Yeah.
like, our choice. And you, Wendy, have three kids. It definitely was your choice. If you have so many, well, maybe
Well,
almost. Yeah, maybe almost. But I mean, it's definitely like we are happy, but we just have to acknowledge that, I don't know, up until maybe they are teenagers, that's really like extra work because realistically, having time for yourself is really, really hard. Unless maybe like another solution that I can see, but it's expensive solution, is if you can hire like let's say a nanny and you can do a gateway with your husband, for example, for a weekend. Or maybe like I don't know, like maybe asking your parents like more
mhm,
in terms of like, hey, can you sit with your kids? We will do something. And I actually had friends who left their 8 months old with the like parents, and they just spent like a weekend at home, and they like cleaned house, things like that. Um,
yeah,
I mean, and like I don't know, like watched movie together, like ate popcorn,
yeah,
maybe like went on a date, just ate food.
yeah.
Maybe this is can potentially be a solution, but if you don't have your parents living nearby, it can be pretty expensive, and not everyone can afford it. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. I really think like I think obviously I think what I'm seeing is like daily you do need to fill your cup. But I feel
mhm,
like even on a weekly or monthly basis, you need to do carve out time. Like you said, like going to Vancouver for a day, right? Like that's awesome. Like I
mhm.
really love that for you. And then but you're also worried about things that
Yeah.
could happen, right? So it's like, so are you actually relaxed versus like what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah. I mean, also like the reason like I worry is like obviously like my child's like partner is pretty capable of managing,
yeah.
and my kid loves my partner. Sometimes I even feel like more than me because
Yeah.
I think he comes to me only with problems and he comes to my partner to hug and do things. So, but I worry because like my child just happens to be a little bit oversensitive with change.
Hmm.
So like even nanny coming to us, it's like a huge problem. Even if I'm working, sitting like right there next to him and he can see me, just nanny being there, he's just like it's completely creates this like all of the sense. And they are subtle, but I definitely do see that this is happening to him. So that's why I worry more. Like I know he will be overstimulated. He might be worried where his mommy is. But it's just the problem is that once you fill your cup, the cup drains much faster.
Yes, I think that is the problem.
Yeah. So you have to like fill your cup, then it drains, then fill again. And this can happen like multiple times a day. But what happens is you fill your cup once and then for multiple days you have to function on it, but there is nothing there. So it goes like into debt. And the debt starts from when they are like 1 week old, because the first 3 months I think gets you into minus 1,000% debt.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And then it's like until their first smile, it's like, oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
it's a little bit, I get it now. Yeah. But no, I think the reason why we want to do this is like just normalizing that like the
Exactly. Yeah.
feelings that you have are okay. Because I think like don't silence those emotions and don't like think this is only you, like you're the only one that's struggling. I feel like everyone struggles in different aspects of it, and maybe some more than more than others, depending on your situation and things like that. But
Mm-hmm.
we just want to normalize it because I
Yeah.
think it's all those things that I mentioned at the start of this episode. It's things that we have to deal with. Like it's just normal. And then on top of that, you're trying to raise a good kid. Like it's a lot, and you're trying to make yourself comfortable. So it's just a lot. So I think one thing I do want to recommend is like if you probably just having a system to be able to fill your own cup and realizing where you're draining your cup. I think just having those awareness is probably at least like help you recognize as like, hey, like these activities are draining me. I need to be able to fill that cup again in order for me to, function tomorrow, or in order for me to be like, um, more pleasant for your kids or whatever it is, right? So I think just recognizing where your cup is being, leaked and where you need to fill it. I think that is one huge learning for me, is like without actually reflecting, like you're just draining and draining and draining, and you're like at the end of the day, you're like, why am I so tired? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and it's
Why
like,
can't I get up?
yeah.
Actually, I can share my experience because when we had a conversation with you, and honestly, like, I couldn't get up from my couch. And it was so difficult for me at a point that I actually decided to call a doctor because my fatigue was crazy. And I think I told in one of the episodes that unfortunately, like, I lost my cat a couple of months ago who was eaten on a street because he was an outside cat. But anyways, and so obviously, like, I was upset about it. But then it was so hard for me to do things that I decided to just go to a doctor, like a physician, and to check a blood work. I was like, okay, maybe I have like an issue. Maybe I have a
Mhm.
like some like vitamins are not there. And I was also drained from like breastfeeding at the time. And then I talked on a doctor. This doctor conversation was awful because I actually asked him a question like, can some vitamins like just be, like drained from my body because I'm breastfeeding? And he said, oh no, breastfeeding is the best. It cannot happen, even though entire internet says that yes, breastfeeding actually consumes mom's like vitamins. But anyways, one of the important things he mentioned to me, he said that he doesn't see kind of a real issue with my symptoms and he thinks it's mental. And so this helped me to realize that I was thinking about it for a couple of days and I realized that actually I feel bad because I had grief from a cat being
Mhm.
dead. And after realizing it, I was very happy that my body was able to cope with it. So my recommendation and sorry, and like so basically once my body was able to process this grief and like I had a lot of guilt that it was my fault that my cat died. I processed grief a little bit, and what I started noticing in my body is that certain things that I couldn't cope with, I was able to cope a little bit just with consciousness. So for example, like if I'm nervous because like my baby doesn't sleep and it completely like irritates me and emotionally unstabilizing me, I can talk myself out of it by just saying, "Hey, I'm a good mom. Like I'm doing whatever I can. I know I couldn't like do it perfectly, but I'm a human being, blah blah blah." So I can kind of relax, but the
Mhm.
thing is, I wasn't able to even get this energy in order to say these things when I was in that like pretty bad grief situation. So
Mhm.
another kind of advice that I want to say, especially for like postpartum moms, like that sometimes if you are not coping, it's good to talk to a doctor because maybe you are not coping and maybe no matter what you do, maybe like you, I don't know, go for a walk by yourself every day, or you have a nanny who can take care of your kid and you just can do some physical exercise, but it doesn't help you. It can be like postpartum anxiety, it can be postpartum depression. So also pay attention to your capabilities. And if you feel like, let's say, before you were able to cope, but right now you don't, it's also not shameful to like, ask for doctor's help. So
Mhm.
this is also another thing that I kind of just wanted to share, because like if you're completely out of touch, then maybe there are like more like, serious reasons for
Yeah.
this.
No, I completely agree with you. I think it's like if your normal activities that you felt like could have filled your cup previously
Mm-hmm.
no longer does, then I think it's like really, really important to go see a doctor because it could be like postpartum blues.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot that, emotionally, things that you're going through as a mom. So I think definitely check into that and your hormones, right? Like it's just
Yeah.
like you just don't know. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
a really good point. And I don't think you actually mentioned, oh, I know about your cat, but I don't think you actually mentioned it on the podcast. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
but
Honestly, I
so
don't think I'm still over it because he was such a great edible. He was
I
part of like
know,
our I don't know, like everything. Like we loved him. He was like our family member,
I
and
know.
this is all very, very traumatic. So I
Hmm.
don't think I fully like recovered from it. I still can't look at the pictures with
No, it's
him.
part of grief. It's
Yeah.
part of grief. So thanks for sharing, Anya. I know it's tough. Like
Yeah.
when I heard the news, I was like, yeah. But it is life.
I do have another tip though, and
Yeah.
advice. I also think it's okay to like prioritize. You know what I mean? Especially cleaning. Maybe this is for you, Wendy. I mean, I
Yes.
also don't like, honestly, like I don't like cleaning. Sorry, I don't like when there are messy things around the house. I like cleaning everything. But honestly, just my 10 months old is eating. I have to clean his space. I have to load, unload the dishwasher. I have to like clean a kitchen island. Even if it's just so much, 3 times a day.
I can't even thinking about it. I'm like remembering the kids feeding the twins.
Yeah.
It was like just so messy. That image is like just killing me right now.
But sometimes I just leave everything. I just
Yeah.
leave it. I can't. I know I can't, and I know I will regret it the next day, but I'm just like, okay, there are so many stains here. They're like, their aprons that they eat in. They're completely like messy in a sink. The sink is gross. So much like pieces of food uneaten for like just imagining that. But I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah. No, it's funny that you mentioned this because I think as a mom, I think I've learned to really let go. Like
Yeah.
just on things. My kids doesn't want to wear a jacket when it's pouring rain outside. It
Okay.
is fine.
So this is the thing. Like, I feel like I'm going to be like this mom. Like, if my kid decides that they want to go in a store or anywhere without shoes, I might let them. Do you think people will look at me like I'm
No,
crazy?
no. And I think being a mom is what taught me to like really let go. Because I don't know
Hmm.
if I remember ever mentioned this, or maybe probably I have, is like before being a mom, I would see kids like screaming and yelling at the mall. I'd be like, what the heck are you doing? Like control
Hmm.
your kid, right? Nowadays it's like
Now we are doing Sassy Moms podcast so that all of you know that it's okay.
like seriously, just like and I tell this to like almost all my mom friends that are out there. They were like, oh, like I'm really struggling with this. I'm like, but who cares? Like
Yeah.
it's like you just have to let go on things. And then it's like my kids were screaming when we were flying. And I'm like,
Hmm.
you know what? There's
Too bad.
nothing I can do. There's literally zero thing I can do. I just have to let it pass and be there right with her when she's
Hmm.
screaming her head off. And I'm like, it's okay. Telling myself it's okay, but also reassuring her. It's like, hey, I hear you. I hear you. You hate the plane going down because your ear is popping. It's like, I hear you. But it's like, please, there's another way that we can do better, that we don't scream in the plane, right? And
Yeah.
it's like, hey, let's do this, right? But it's like for probably a 5 minute, and it's probably shorter. In my head, it was probably like half an hour. You just have to like let go. I think being a mom, one of the things I've always had this, but then I think being a mom is like you just don't care. Like you don't care what other people think anymore, like at all.
And
Really
people
don't.
are pretty racist when it
Yeah, they
comes to
are.
kids and
Yes.
flights.
Yeah. And then like people say like just stupid remarks, right? All the time. And it's like, oh, like do this, like, oh, why didn't you do that? Or like whatever. Like I had actually one comment that I was like absolutely, and I was still a early mom.
Mm-hmm.
It was like I put a cover over Nathan when he was like maybe 6 months because he was I was pushing him in the mall and he was about to go to nap and he needs a dark environment. So I put the thing and he was crying, but that's normal because I know that because he
Mm-hmm.
would cry before he sleeps. And you can't imagine how many people came to me and was like, "Why aren't you taking care of your kid? Your kid is crying."
Ah,
So
crazy.
that was a learning for me. And then I just stood up for myself. I'm like, you don't know him as his mom, so please just go away. Like
Yeah.
it's not your job to tell me what to do. Like it's like I think people need to just understand that like it's really none of your business. You know what I mean?
Honestly, like I actually like I don't know, maybe we should do another episode, but I was on Threads a lot and I was, just like writing something and I like reading what people think and I realized that in our like such an open society where we are accepting of anything anywhere, like anyone can be anyone in this world, but we are so racist towards kids and no one punishes it. Like I saw this like flights where like people just say, "Oh, control your kid." I was on a flight,
Yeah.
a kid was screaming, and how much hate these kids get and the parents get to a point where people think, truly think, that you should not be flying with your kid up
Yes,
until
I saw
they're
that. I
like
saw
5 years old.
like that's I think that's what drives me crazy is like I don't think the society really understands or have compassion for
Hmm.
both the parents and the kid. I think like it needs to be a common knowledge that kids' brain doesn't fully develop until at least they're like 20. So like, you know what I
20
mean?
was like too much.
No, that's what they said. You don't fully
Okay, yeah,
develop.
yeah, I know, yeah.
Yeah, but
Especially
then it's
boys,
like
like
I don't
I think
think
boys
they're
at
fully.
25, like the brain.
Yeah, I think 25 is the correct number, which I was really surprised. I have how many more years to go?
That's
Uh,
why Ukraine has so many divorces, by the way, because actually, so my current partner is Canadian, and he is like, why Ukrainian women have so many divorces? But well, it's because we all are getting married at 20, like 22, 23, and like obviously to like guys who are 23 whose brains are not yet developed. So obviously by 30, we all are divorced.
yeah, it's like crazy. I think it's like we have so much like compassion for just our society in general. But like, I don't think we have compassion enough for like parents and like kids and the dynamics. Like, sometimes you just can't reason with a kid. And we just, as a society, we have to accept that and not like just like look at them as like, hey, like you as a parent should do better, or you as a kid like should do better. It's just like, I think just having more compassion would go a long way. Because like just so many unsolicited things that I've heard over the life of being a parent is insane. And it's like people that don't even know you. It's like, hey, like you should have done this. Like, oh, why aren't your kids like doing that? Like who cares? Like, why is it your problem? You know what I mean?
But this is the thing. It's good that your attitude is who cares. But for some parents, it can create additional emotional load for them.
True.
And like I see it, right? Like from older generation, for example, they try like they want my kid, for example, to behave a certain way.
Yes.
And it drives me nuts because like for example, it's not a problem like they like I and this is where I also actually wanted to talk to like parents and say, hey, prioritize things for your like teaching kid is emotionally draining, right? And if we
Mhm.
do it, it's very, very hard. It requires a lot of emotion. So realistically, you can't teach every single detail. You have to
Mhm.
prioritize. So for
Mhm.
example, I was thinking, right, if my kid jumps on a couch and I go to someone guest's house and my kid jumps on a couch, likely I will actually not even teach him the fact that it's not good to do up until he like can reason, just because it doesn't hurt anyone, neither guests nor myself. Like if my kid likes jumping on a couch, I will just let him jump. But some parents will think that, oh, it's not appropriate behavior for a
Mhm.
kid, right? Or for example, eat and like leave half of a pizza not finished, right? Some like in my opinion, like, I don't care. I don't care who thinks, as long as it doesn't hurt me, it doesn't hurt my child. I'm okay with that. But parents and like my parents, right? Like how much emotional load they had because they had to teach me every single appropriate behavior at a very, very early stage. And obviously, we get frustrated because we just can't. We physically can't.
Mm-hmm.
So my 10 months old, like he likes hitting face like this. It took me like 20 days to explain him 20 days or maybe a month to explain him that hitting like that is bad. You need to be gentle. And he still hits from time to time, but it's like just one thing. It's only one thing that I want like
Yeah.
tried to teach him because it just hurts and it's not good. But I will not teach him that hitting a glass is not good. I think he will be able to grow out of it. And if
Yeah.
people don't like that he hits, let's say, a glass in the plane, it's their problem.
Yeah, like I think you hit it on the nail. I think it's like for me is exactly that. It's like where do I prioritize and like
Yeah,
what battles do I want to pick today? Like
exactly.
you can't do like all the battles because you're gonna drain your cup so much quicker. And I think it's like in order for me to protect my own cup and my kids' cup, like I need to pick my battles and like where do you want to like where is it really crossing the line for you? Because I think as a parent, like there are certain things that I think you believe in. It's like, okay, there are things that my kids really can't do, things I'm like, oh, whatever. Um, things like that. I think you really need to set that boundary for yourself as well. And it's like if other people try to drain your energy by giving you opinions that are unsolicited, you just have to block them out. And you have to figure out a way to do it. Because I think in the beginning, when that comment was made, it like really affected me.
Hmm.
Actually, and like now I still remember, and it's been
Exactly.
like what, after 8 years? I replied back, but then it was
Hmm.
still like I'm like, man, like why do people like it was really affecting me because I'm like
Yeah.
being a parent, it's like why do I get unsolicited feedback? Like I
Yeah.
like you know what I mean? Like it's crazy to me. And I think it's like I think from that moment on, like it's just something like help me understand is like, hey, like I need to block out these unsolicited feedback, even from strangers, from elderlies. Sometimes it's just like you have to protect your own cup, and
Hmm.
you have to do that, or else you're gonna be like so drained. And I still don't do it well because sometimes I'm like I let
Of
stuff
course.
that affects me, but you just have
Really
to. I
good
think the
girls.
self I know. Yeah, I know. Like self-awareness is so
Yeah.
important. Just like reflecting on like, okay, what's draining me? What do I actually care about? And like things like that. Just having that reflection really helps me to actually ground, I guess, myself too.
Yeah. And just as a final comment, it's just funny because I'm kind of obviously like I want my parents to live close to me, but sometimes I'm happy like that my mom lives far away because I can just not reply to her messages. That's it. So every time I said, like every time I send my like Aiden's like how he's like doing
Yeah,
some
yeah, yeah.
silly things, she always has a comment to say. Either like, "Oh, it's cold, why you don't have shoes on him?" or "No socks," like something, which
Yeah.
and it affects me. It actually like my day will be better if there
Yes.
wouldn't be this comments, but at
Yeah.
least because this is just in a chat, I can just read it and like not
Yeah.
reply. So this is my way of coping with it, and I know like she loves me and like I love my
Yeah.
mom, but it's just
It's different generation. It's
yeah,
definitely
it's
different generation.
exactly.
Different culture too, right? Like I feel like there's a lot of similarities between like the Ukraine, how we grew up and then
Yeah.
how Chinese too. So I totally empathize with you because like there's a lot of times I have to educate, I guess, like my parents on why I do certain things, just so
Hmm.
that they understand like my perspective, right?
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, you shouldn't let blah 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 do this or like this or that, right? And I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, like yeah, I do let him do this because it's probably better for this versus
Hmm.
this that he does, right? Like I'm
Hmm.
trying to course correct this other activity, and I can't
Yeah.
have him course correct 5 billion activities, right? So it's like I find that that's helpful, just like telling people is like, and then it is draining, but I feel like it's helping me and my mom to have those conversations as well. Because like, yes, parents do have a lot of feedback. on.
Exactly, which puts on additional like
Yes.
emotional
Yeah.
load.
Yeah.
So that's pretty tough.
I know. Like all this emotional load. So like it's funny. It's not funny, I guess. Kind of funny. I was telling my husband, I don't think he fully understands like the emotional drain. Because I feel
Yeah.
like guys' brain function differently. It's like,
Hmm.
oh, like this thing happens and it's like they just kind of forget about it. They don't let it like add up. So like I was trying to tell him about this like emotional drain I have and trying to conceptualize that for him. He just like He's like, just forget about it.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm like, but
I'm
anyway.
always asking my partner, like, are you empathetic even? Like, can you, to be honest, like, like yesterday I reached my frustration point so much, and then I was trying to understand how my partner sees it
Mhm.
because I feel like I don't know, like my partner is still just a kind of it's funny because you mentioned about how you and your partner like you see each other in terms of like triggers, and so you can understand when you are about to blow up. So I think we are a new couple, so we don't yet have this point, but we are in progress of figuring it out. But I was trying to understand his perspective because, like, let's say Aiden's sleep yesterday was completely off, and he screamed like hysterically every time I put him to bed, which was emotional
Mhm.
for me. And I was like, okay, can you just tell me how my day went? And he's like, well, I don't know. And he just said, and then you got upset with me in the evening. Like, okay, so you didn't like you can like connect the fact that oh, like my baby didn't sleep, it means I'm stressed. Oh, my
Yes.
baby like cries, it means I'm stressed. All of this just drains me and drains me. Like I don't think he can like understand that.
No, I seriously, even so, like for me, I think one of the learnings is like, so let's say like your husband was the one that was dealing with your kid that was not
Mhm.
sleeping well and all that, right? It's like they see those as like not, I guess like isolated activities.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
at least from a guy perspective. So like he's like, well, like that's separate. Like you should like just forget about that and like move on, right? But I'm like, I can't. Like I mentally can't because
Yeah.
it was draining. And now I'm like, there's drain and drain and drain and drain, and now I'm empty. And
Yeah, yeah.
give me this other thing, and I'm like, I just blew up. And then you were
Yeah.
like trying to wonder why. I'm like, because my cup is empty. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm like
Absolutely.
emotionally drained. And then you're asking me this one more thing, and I'm like, I just can't take it anymore. So
Exactly. It's exactly what happens with me too, Wendy, like every single day.
So I was telling him the other day, I'm like, this emotional cup that I was telling him, and he just couldn't conceptualize this. Like
Yeah.
he just could not. So I'm like, all right, I will just let you know when my cup is empty and then just don't trigger me. That's what I told him.
So quick question here. How to recognize that your cup is empty? Because, like for me, I am quite self-aware person, but for some reason I don't realize up until I blow up. When I blow up, I'm like, oh, okay, this is what happened. Like, I understand
I
that I'm
think it,
stressed, frustrated, but I kind of try to
yeah,
hold it together. But then I
I think,
realized that, oh, I should have told this to him, and I know he will support me. I know he will.
yeah,
But
that's my
how
exact
can
problem.
we
That's my exact
proactively?
problem. I think it's like, so I blew up so many times with him,
Mhm.
and then I self-reflected, and I was like, okay. Like, how come, like, it was such a small thing. Like, when I reflect, I'm like, well, why did I blew up? Because, like, you asked me a simple question, and
Yeah,
then I kind of took that just like super negatively.
yeah,
I probably
exactly.
shouldn't have. So I think it's just like, I don't know, like, I'm like, sometimes I think my biggest fault is anything that like annoys me. I think I just like roll my eyes or like do subtle things that just like, oh, like you're just nonsense. I think those are the moments where like if I do this consecutively, then I know I'll blow up.
Hmm.
So like
Hmm.
I think it's like if I'm frustrated, I keep like I'm like, are you dumb? Like, things that goes in my head, which I don't say
Yeah,
out loud, like things like that. I'm like, oh my God,
I
are you crazy? Things like that.
yeah, exactly. It's like it's totally the same for me. It's just something like some simple question, and I'm completely out of it. And then I'm feeling like ashamed. I'm like, well, this was just
Yeah.
a question. What happened? And like, he's also asking, this is just a question. It was not even related. Like, why are you frustrated? And then it takes me a lot of time to figure it out. So I don't know if any of you girls experience the same. Please let us know what it is and how you can, like what was the solution?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
I myself, like, I wish I can be so reflective in a moment. Because,
It's
like, yesterday, all I needed was just asking my partner for help. And I know he will. Like, it's not like he will not. But I couldn't. And then I'm angry at him that he didn't recognize me.
I
How
know,
can
and
he
that's
recognize if we
I
cannot?
know. And it's like, why didn't you know? And it's like, well, like, how would he know, right? Like,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
things like that. But then you reflect it after, like not in the
Yeah.
moment. And I think that's the problem. So I don't really know a good, I guess, solution to that either, because I'm still trying to figure that out.
Yeah. If
Exactly.
anyone knows, let
Yeah.
us know in a
Let us know.
comment. We would love to read about
Yeah.
it because
Anything that we talked about today that you have a solution for, I'd love to hear it. And even your experience, like
Mhm.
maybe you were feeling it, the same way as us, and then now you're like, a different way, or you're still struggling, let us know because we're in this together.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and with that, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Sassy Moms. If you like to subscribe, we're on Instagram, YouTube, so find us, and we love hearing your comments and feedback, and we answer to every one of them. Thanks for tuning
Absolutely.
in. See
Thank
you next
you.
week.
Bye bye.